Okay, what you're hearing in the background is I'm sterilizing my jars, and I'm going to lower that just so I can say a couple things. Now, okay, this is part 2 of my jam. You have to be careful it doesn't scorch along the sides over there. And I basically have boiled this vigorously for about 15 to 20 minutes. And another way of checking that is by using a old method. Let's see, let me grab it real quick. So I have a frozen, and this is old school method. It's been for a while. So I have a plate here. Okay, I'm going to turn that off real quick. And that looks like a beautiful jam. Look at that. I'm going to skim the top and then I'm going to jar it. So what you do basically is you take some of your, on that frozen plate, and you want to make sure that this does not continue to scorch. This, so pull it away. This has been on, so that took extra heat, so make sure it doesn't scorch. Bring it aside. And you see how that's taking its time, dripping down? That's one way of checking it. And it's ready to be jarred. And then you see where it's a nappe, where you put in the middle, you put your finger, you run your finger, and if it doesn't close up together, then it's ready to jar. So I wanted to show you that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and get my jars ready so that we could start jarring this. And basically what I'm doing is I'm going to take out my jars. Yeah. Okay. Well, I like to set them where it's hot, because you want to hot pack them. Okay. Put your jars out. So I'm going to set, I'd say about, it's a little messy, but that's okay because I'm going to be cleaning up. I'm a messy little jar sometimes. That's alright. Don't worry, it's not scorched. I turned it off. And then you take your spoon. You want to get a nice spoon. And you want to go ahead, move some of that out, and take it. And this is going to be like a preserve. Just go ahead and spoon it in. Okay. To a 1/4 inch on top. And what I usually do is I drop my lids into some hot water. And you could use vinegar to so that's going to soften up the inside. So you could use vinegar to clean off the rims. And then what I usually do is I have a chopstick. Make sure it's clean. And then I basically get all the little bubbles out like that. I mean, it's tedious, but it's how it's done. So I'm going to do a couple. Oops, that's my timer. Then what I do is get a spoon, like so. Okay. And then I get my spoon. Stick that for right now. Bang it up a little bit. Don't do this at night if you have neighbors. Okay. I'm going to I have some paper towels that I'm going to use. And then you just kind of want to clean the rim of that. Make sure it's clean so it does, so those, so it can stick. I might have put just a little bit. And you see those little bubbles? You want to get those out. So what I usually do is get a clean towel. I'm trying to do this with one hand, and I'll just clean the top of it. And as I'm cleaning, that's really close up, isn't it? It'll take the bubbles out. But make sure you use a nice clean towel. Okay, all my towels are disinfectant, and so they're good to go. So when I do, and then I get my lid here, dry it off. Make sure you dry off your lid. Okay, so I'm drying it off. And then I'm going to put that on top, and then I'm going to screw it. And you want to screw it pretty tight before you put it in the before you process it. Okay. And if you looked at my other videos, you'll see. And this is depending on you'll look at my other videos to see. I want to get a couple things out. How long you process it in the water bath. So after you get them all sealed up, make sure they're all sealed up. At the same time, you want to put them in the processor, and then you want to process them for about, for me it's going to be, I believe, 5 minutes, and sometimes I go a little over just to give it that extra seal. And then after you process it, this is my reminder. Ay caramba, leave canned goods in water bath 5 minutes before taking them out. Okay, so after you process them, leave them in there, and then you remove them and let them set for 24 hours, like I've allowed these other guys to set. And that's my second batch of apple butter, which is delicious. The first batch has a little bit of brandy in it, and this is my second batch, which does not have any brandy for those who are allergic to alcohol. And I make like a couple batches, and then this is a lighter color, which I got a lighter color, so you have a dark apple butter, and then you have a lighter version, and this is just as thick as my apple butter because I didn't add any water or any other liquids to it. Just cooked my apples. So okay, I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to can this up before it gels, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, I hope that helps.